Do you or a loved one like the popular and infamous subgenre of anime called isekai? Or do you or a loved one absolutely despise this subgenre because of how oversaturated it is? Like seriously, how many times can you watch the same virgin idiot protagonist get killed somehow and transported to the same generic fantasy world with the same 3 harem girls that all want to screw him, and he is the chosen one who must encounter the inevitable demon lord plot point? Yeah, me too. So I made something. My brain hatched an idea one summer day, and thus, Shisekai was born. Now you may be wondering, what is Shisekai? Well, it is an isekai, but not your average normal generic isekai. Actually it is. But Shisekai is the I'm not like other girls of isekai. In fact, it is more self-aware than your mother. In fact, Shisekai stands for the shitty isekai with an unnecessarily long title that doesn't need to be this unnecessarily long. In the beginning, when the gods of isekai created the world of Shisekai, it was just an idea, a concept, a fetus that has not yet been birthed into this world. Then the gods of isekai said, "Let there be an isekai protagonist," and Yoichi Kurosaki was born. But Yoichi was not like the others in this completely normal, generic, boring world. He was a gamer. But not just any gamer. An epic gamer! Yoichi was bullied for being an isekai protagonist, and has been given the name Discount Kirito because it is true and accurate. Yoichi is just Kirito on clearance at your local Family Dollar. Yoichi lives in a society where being an isekai protagonist is a good thing, because it progresses the plot. But Yoichi would not let his bullies have his status, and he tried to defend himself. However, he is a gamer. He has a deficiency in every essential vitamin and mineral in his body, and has no upper body strength. In other words, he is as strong as a wet spaghetti noodle. He was squashed by his bullies because wet spaghetti noodles are easy to squash with your bare fists. You should try it, it is very therapeutic. But then, they accused him of being a pussy, and Yoichi responds with his most heroic one-liner that no other protagonist can ever deliver, not even Daddy Guts. "I'm not a pussy, I'm a gamer." He valiantly won the battle because he is an epic gamer, and he is not a pussy. And because his bullies died of secondhand embarrassment. Disclaimer, they did not die, they were no longer of use to the plot and were written out. As Yoichi walks home from his epic school adventure, he turns into the Joker from Batman, I don't know, I never watched it, and gets super edgy and emo and angsty like the main love interest in an ex-reader Wattpad fanfiction. But Yoichi is not just a gamer or an isekai protagonist. He is relatable. How can anyone live in a society that oppresses gamers? That is what we are all thinking, Yoichi. But just how relatable is Yoichi? Well, his father left him to get milk when he was young, which explains his fatherless behavior because he is fatherless. He also has an annoying sister who is a furry and a TikToker, and fatherless like Yoichi. Yoichi then gets the brilliant idea to get isekai'd into another world because he is tired of the inciting incident not happening already, so he gets out his generic isekai checklist. He puts on the isekai protagonist drip, ventures to the convenience store, then tries to get hit by a truck that is barreling down the street in the middle of the night for no logical reason. But Yoichi's efforts were worth nothing, as no gods of isekai granted him his wish to progress the plot already. However, my man Yoichi came prepared with a plan B, and begged the gods of isekai to isekai him, which didn't work either. Then Yoichi took a potato chip and ate it, but it was really lame, and he goes on a rant about how disappointing the potato chip was. So then he went to bed with his waifu pillow. But then, a truck came barreling through his humble abode at 70 miles per hour, and a 2x4 impaled him and his waifu pillow. Yoichi is finally happy he gets to get isekai'd, but wait, he forgot to finish Dark Souls 2! He begs for plot armor so he can finish it, but then he dies. There's too much isekai that exists on planet Earth, but there's one trait that 99% of those isekais share, and that is, what happened to the real world after the isekai protagonist was isekai'd? Is there a search party for a missing person? Is there a depressing and tragic funeral for the virgin gamer isekai protagonist? Or was planet Earth obliterated by a giant plot hole laser? How does every isekai manage to ignore this vital plot-related question? Well, Shisekai attempts to answer this important question. After dying tragically and painfully, Yoichi stands before the gods of isekai. However, he is an impatient little bitch, so he demands to be sent to an isekai world immediately, as he does not care about the important plot hole related question that Shisekai answers. The gods of isekai show him his funeral, which he watches angstily because his mother and sister could care less that he is actually dead, but he is at least grateful that they showed up to press F. Yoichi gets to his epic isekai fantasy world with magic and girls with big boobs, but since he is not like other isekai protagonists, he decides to be more of an idiot than his other isekai kin. Yoichi makes it well known in the starter town in every isekai called Starter Town Land that he is proud that he pissed his pants in 8th grade, and then proceeds to steal from shops run by fantasy furries and get his ass handed to him by a manlet with purple hair. Yoichi repeats the 8th grade and dies. Just kidding, he has too much plot armor. Instead, he is launched in a Minecraft TNT cannon into a dangerous forest outside of Starter Town Land, where he proceeds to repeat the 8th grade again. Now you may be asking a very important question, which could potentially be a plot hole. How did Yoichi just repeat the 8th grade twice if he only has one bladder? Easy, you fool. Pee is stored in the balls. Yoichi is a male, which means he has an XY chromosome, which means that he has not one, but 2 balls. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yoichi is then chased by a Karen wielding an axe and dies again. But I fooled you again, because Yoichi can't die. He is the isekai protagonist, he has too much plot armor. Yoichi is greeted by a woman, who just so happens to be Yoichi's first harem target because she has big boobs and steel-toed boots. Her name is Ophelia, and she makes it well known to any man that she has steel-toed boots. He is also greeted by an obstacle to getting his first isekai harem girl, Figaro. He's stupid, but he's hot, and afraid of tiny flying insects, despite being professionally trained in combat. Yoichi wants to get rid of Figaro, because he is in the way of his harem, and there are no generic isekais with men in harems, and Yoichi needs to be a generic isekai protagonist. The two enlist Yoichi because he is the 3rd isekai protagonist that they had in their isekai trio. Don't ask what happened to the first 2. And they lived happily ever after the end. Just kidding, I fooled you again. They do not live happily ever after because they need to defeat the mysterious demon lord. But this demon lord isn't like other demon lords. He likes garlic bread. You might be wondering, why, Mother Left Thigh, are you making a video about the shitty webcomic you made a year ago that you aren't even proud of? Because I'm remastering this shit. It's going to be good this time, I promise. To prove it to you, last night I wrote a 17-page document full of lore and character development stuff. That's right, you heard me. There's going to be character development this time. And guess what? I'm going to make Shisekai Remastered something I am proud of, so I can look back on it and say, ah, I love Shisekai. But it won't happen for a long time because I want to write it first before drawing it, so it can be quality over quantity, unlike the original Shisekai. Thanks for watching, subscribe now or I will come to your house and crack an egg over your head, please. They are very expensive right now, so don't make me buy an egg. Subscribe now, please, thanks.